Show about our exciting Pacific West Conference. The Pac-West is made up of NCAA Division II universities from Arizona and Utah to California and Hawaii. It's the most beautiful and diverse athletic conference in the entire NCAA. This is Commissioner Bob Hogue, inviting you to join our outstanding coaches, student athletes, and administrators as we talk about the great excitement in the Pac-West. Now here's Assistant Commissioner Tom Camillo, live from our studios in Santan, Arizona.
We are live in the Santan Valley. Tom Camillo along with Joe Carreiro, and we are in the KQCK studios. And Joe's got new lighting, and I felt like I was under a supernova here, so I had to put the shades on for today's show.
That's a great idea. You know what?
But you know what's really shining is the Pacific West Conference athletic teams. Dixie State College of Utah is in the NCAA Division II West Regional, and they are playing. Actually, they're going to take the field in about an hour to face off against UC San Diego. They're the number 2 seed in the West region of the 4-team tournament. It's a double elimination tournament, and the Red Storm will take on UC Davis. The event is being hosted by Western Oregon University in Keyser. I think it's how you say Keyser, Oregon. It's at nearby where Western Oregon University is located, and Western Oregon, I believe, is taking on Chico State. So that first game of that tournament starts at 1:00 today, and 1:00 Pacific Daylight Time, and Dixie State will take on their number 2 seeds that have had a great season. John Potter is going to join us. John is the play-by-play guy for Dixie State baseball, and he's going to talk live from the press box about what's going on there. And then first up here in a few minutes, we're going to have Paul Pertzer join us. Paul is the head men's golf coach at Grand Canyon University. And I'll take these off right now. Paul is out in Kentucky with the Grand Canyon men's golf team, and they are competing in the NCAA Division II National Championships as part of the sports festival that's taking place for Division II, something that happens at every few years. And the Grand Canyon men's team won the Pac-West Championship this year, and then they advanced into the Super Regional and received one of the teams that were selected to go because of their finish at the Super Regional to go to the NCAA Championships in Kentucky. So they're competing right now. In fact, I think they just got off the course. So we're going to give Paul a call. That handwritten number that we called. Paul's phone cell actually died, and he's actually, we're going to switch up, and he's going to join us via somebody else's cell phone. But he's going to join us here in a minute. But just a terrific time of the year. Hawaii Pacific and BYU Hawaii women's tennis teams both advanced out of the round of 16. They're now in the national quarterfinals in women's tennis. That's also taking place in Kentucky. BYU Hawaii's women are unbeaten. They're number 1 team in the nation. And also is Kyle Chappell, who is a individual golfer from Dixie State College of Utah. He had a terrific second round yesterday, fired a 67 and jumped almost 40 slots. He's tied for 8th going into today's rounds, and I believe they're probably done for today. But he rocketed up the scoring charts from golf, being tied for 47th to being tied for 8th nationally. And I believe if they do the nationals with golf, that I believe the top 8 might be All-American, and the 9 through 16 are honorable mention All-American. At least in a lot of sports like swimming and track and field, they do that. But Kyle Chappell having a terrific, season right now for Dixie State College of Utah. And then I believe is Paul on the phone with us? It looks like we're switching up phones again. But just to let everyone know, it's the Pacific West Conference is coming to its athletic seasons are coming to a close here, and this week women's tennis and men's golf will conclude, and then as long as Dixie State College keeps winning, baseball will continue. Next year, the Pac-West will expand to 14 schools. When you add holy names, Fresno Pacific, Point Loma Nazarene, and also Azusa Pacific joining the Pacific West Conference. So the conference is definitely growing. I do want to give a quick shout out. We have a fan listening in Providence, Rhode Island. actually two fans. One of them's name is Kevin Silva, and then his buddy Kurt Stevens are listening to the program live from Providence, East Providence, Rhode Island. So a shout out to them, and we're excited to have them on the air. So, do we have Paul on the air?
Yes.
I think we do.
Yes, we do.
Hey, Paul, welcome to the program.
Hi, guys. How you doing?
All right, Paul Pertzer, the head coach of the Grand Canyon men's golf team. Now, did you guys just get off the course from this morning?
Yes. Just about an hour ago.
So let's talk a little bit. How'd you guys do this morning?
Well, let's change the subject. I'm just we had a tough couple last 2 days here. The wind blew a little bit this morning, and we had three of the guys played pretty good, and then we just had trouble with our fourth and fifth players. Had a little trouble.
Can you talk about let's talk a little bit about the individuals, because looking at the scores, this is the cream of the crop for Division II, and these courses are some of the best you're going to play on in Division II. Talk about some of the players on your team. You had an outstanding season to date, being the Pac West champions, and getting in, hosting the Super Regional right here in the Phoenix area, up in Litchfield Park, and then moving on to the national tournament. You've got to be happy with the players on the team this year so far.
Yes, very much so. We really had a good year. The guys really worked hard and improved a lot from the beginning of the year. We in the last 8 tournaments going into the regional tournament, we had 5 second place finishes, and then we won the Pac West championship. So going into the regionals, we had a lot of momentum going in there, and then we played real well there, and kind of had an unusual situation where right at the end of the tournament I think we were in third place and had a good shot at second place in the regional tournament, and we had to stop because there was a dust storm that came through there, and lightning and thunder and stuff, and we ended up finishing the top 5 to make the national tournament. So it's been a while since we've been here.
Now you guys are playing in the greater Louisville area. I think the town is Simpsonville or something like that you're actually located in Kentucky?
Yes, that's correct. The name of the club is the Cardinal Club, and that's where the University of Louisville, their golf teams play at this club. And it's a good golf course, and it's kind of unusual because they have some their rough there is probably 3 feet high and thick bushes, and we're just not used to playing on golf courses like that. I mean, a few of the holes you could be 5 yards, 10 yards off the fairway and be where you can't find your ball, or if you can't find it, you can't hit it. So that was kind of we're not used to playing on golf courses like that.
How's the national tournament structured? How many teams and how many rounds?
Good question. It's an interesting. There's 20 teams and then 8 individuals, and so it is a cream of the crop. I mean, all the teams here are very good teams, and we play 3 rounds of medal play, and then that determines the individual champion, the individual D2 NCAA champion, and then they take the top 8 teams after all today's rounds, and then they go into match play. So they'll have 8 teams, and they'll play in the morning tomorrow, and they'll be down to 4 teams, and then at the end of the day, there'll be 2 teams that'll play 18 holes on Saturday. So I believe that's 18. I believe we're playing 18 holes for the final match.
So,
but it's a really good format. I mean, it really is. It's an exciting it's an exciting format for the tournament.
So if you're a team and you make it all the way to that championship, you're playing 6 rounds of golf during the week.
Yes, exactly.
Exactly.
So.
Yeah, that's a lot of golf, and that's longer than like major, PGA tours tournaments.
No, that's right. I mean, it is. It's a lot of golf in a short period of time. So, and the quality of players are very, very good at this championship. I think the leading the young man's lead right now is like 10 under for 3 days, and that's really good golf here. The golf course is very challenging course. It's a 7,000-yard course in Kentucky, and it has rain, a lot of rain just before the tournament. So, of course, it's playing very long. It's playing all the 7,000 yards long.
This particular national championship in golf is being held in conjunction with the sports festival in the Louisville area. It's obviously, you go to a national tournament and men's golf, and it's usually men's golfers. But here you have a lot of other sports, almost an Olympic-style event going on of NCAA championships. Has that been fun for the athletes?
It really is, and they do that like once every 4 years. They have softballs here. The softball championship is here. Men's and women's tennis is here, and then men's and women's lacrosse. It's really a neat event. And then of course men's and women's golf, and our women's team playing. They're ranked in the top 3 teams or 4 teams in the country. So they should have a good shot. I mean, I think they're 5th after the first round, so they're doing pretty good, too. And they only had 3 spots in their regional, and they finished tied for second. So they made it, and they've got a good team. We have a good team too. We just played pretty good the first round. We didn't finish really good last few holes, but thought we'd come out better yesterday, and we just came out flat for whatever reason.
Is there a certain, obviously you said it's been a while since Grand Canyon has been at the national tournament, is that correct?
Yeah, it has. I think it's been 3 or 4 years since we've been here, and like I said, our team we really had a good, the first few tournaments in the fall kind of didn't play so good. We had some new players in, and had about half the players were new and half the players had played before, and so anyway, one other highlight kind of our season this year is at the conference tournament we had 4 of the top 7 players were on our team, and we had 4 first-team all-conference, all Pac-West conference players. Mark Senegal, Mark Geddes, Ryan Mahoney, and Brandon Moore. All 4 of those fellas were first-team all-conference players. So I think it's the first time anybody's ever had 4 players, 4 all-conference players, first-team all-conference players.
And
so that was pretty neat.
In your tournament right now, I think is Ryan still your top player right now? It was Ryan who was your top player.
He shot 76, and I honestly, Tom, I don't see exactly where he finished up. I know Tyler Wooldridge shot 73 today, so he was I think he was 7 over, and Ryan was 3 and 4. I think they're both pretty close. I think Ryan was around 7 over also for the 3 rounds.
And this was a par 72 course. What was the yardage on this course? You said it was playing long.
It was 7,000.
Wow.
36 or something like that. It was over 7,000. It played all of it too because, like I said, it had rained all day on the day before we got here on Sunday, and it's really wet. The ball's just kind of hitting, and it's not moving very far.
Yeah, you play obviously a lot of matches if you're playing here in the Southwest or in California. You have, or New Mexico, or wherever you're scheduled that you guys take. It's a lot of dry weather for the most part. You go to Hawaii, you had to deal a lot with the wind over at Hilo at the Pac-West, over the Big Island there of Hawaii for the Pac-West championships. Does this course play different than what the players are used to because it's in a different part of the country?
Yes, it really does, and a lot of rolling hills in this course. Side hill lies, uphill lies. And then even some blind shots. We don't get a lot of that down there in Arizona. We do in some of the tournaments that we play in, and that's why it's good for the guys. It's a great experience for them to play in some of the other tournaments in Southern California, Northern California, and Hawaii. And it's really good for them to do that. But we don't get to play a lot of courses like in the Midwest and, the upper Midwest, we don't get to do that a lot. And the greens are a little bit different. The grass is a little different back here than it is in the West. Even in Northern California, it's a little different than it is here in Kentucky and in the Midwest. And it was a good experience for our guys. And we had, like I said, we hadn't been back here for a while. And only one of our guys, Tyler Woolridge, had that experience of playing in the national championship, and it's a really neat deal. I think next year we'll come back and it'll be a little different story because the guys will have been here, and we're looking forward to coming back here next year. That's for sure.
They won't be in awe, and that's always a lot of coaches talk about that first time at an event on a national level like this. If your players haven't been to it, the spectacle that goes around it, especially at a sports festival like this, you can kind of get lost in that a little bit.
Yeah, exactly, Tom. It can be overwhelming, really. I mean, having to be the festival here, I almost wish it wasn't a festival here this year, but it's really neat. I mean, see all the sports, all the athletes and stuff like that. It's a neat deal. And we went to Churchill Downs. They had the opening ceremonies there, and
wow,
they're going to have the closing ceremonies there too. So that was pretty neat. That was a pretty neat deal too. To look around there, and especially the Derby was just last week or week before.
I was fortunate enough to participate in the first one in Orlando with a women's lacrosse team that went there, and they did the opening ceremonies, Hard Rock Cafe, Universal Studios, and they brought in a band, Collective Soul, which was really popular late 90s, early 2000s. Brought them in for the athletes, didn't tell them, and just opened up the stage, and they started playing, and it was fantastic. And I had an opportunity to do the fall one at West Florida University down in Pensacola, and it's just a really neat, fun event, an Olympic-style event where all the athletes get to participate, and there is, like you said, an opening and closing ceremony for everyone. So. Paul, well, we wish you the best of we wish you the best of luck, and thank you for joining us right off the course. And we look forward to to a great next season, and congratulations so far.
Hey, thank you very much, Tom. Nice being on with you.
Thanks, Paul Pertzer, the head coach of Grand Canyon University men's golf program. The Antelopes are at the NCAA Division II National Championships. They just wrapped up their 3-day team scoring, and we're going to have John Potter join us here from Dixie State College of Utah, live from the press box at Western Oregon University at the NCAA Regionals. But Paul Pertzer and the Grand Canyon Antelopes, Pac-West champions, top finish there in the Super Regional to earn them a berth in the Nationals, and then they had the experience of a lifetime for Division II athletes to participate in that NCAA sports festival where all the sports are going on at the same time. So it's really a terrific event for student athletes, and especially the Pac-West, well represented. Like I said, Kyle Chappelle from Dixie State College of Utah is participating as an individual golfer. We'll be anxious to see if he made it where he finished today as they determine the individual champions and finishes. And then also Hawaii Pacific and BYU Hawaii women's tennis are currently underway today in the national quarterfinals after winning their round of 16 matches. And then John Potter is joining us here from Dixie State College of Utah. John, welcome to the program.
Hey, Tom. Pleasure to be on with you.
It's good to have a broadcaster's voice on the show sometimes, other than mine and Joe's. So we appreciate you joining us.
We'll try to keep it at baritone level throughout the entire interview.
So right now, you're up in the press box, I assume, getting ready for the regional to start.
First pitch is in 41 minutes, and as we all know, the NCAA, they like to start on time. So, yeah, getting prepared. Got my lineup set up on the scorecards, waiting to see what the Trojans of UCSD have to offer on the other side. Should be an exciting afternoon.
Says, talk about this a little bit. When Dixie State, I mean, when the rankings came out and they had jumped to third, and their season was basically at an end, it looked like that those wins over Cal State, LA at the end of the season really helped, obviously, push them. But when they got to the second seed, that had to really send a sense of excitement through the program.
Yeah, there was a lot of excitement. It didn't permeate as much as you'd think it would. Our team was actually out on the field doing an infield drill, and I was my duty up in the press box was to watch the show, and then if we got in, then make some sort of announcement or replay it over the loudspeaker so the guys would know. No, you're absolutely right. The jump to 3 after the series against Cal State LA was huge. It basically gave us a little bit of a security blanket of that, knowing that we would probably get in. But I got to tell you, when the first 2 teams came up on that West Regional, and it was the 1-4 Chico State and Western Oregon, I kind of looked at our guy in the press box I was sitting next to me. I'm like, what's going to happen here? Especially since UC San Diego had won their conference tournament. But then to see the 2 seed pop up was a nice surprise. I think our team will enjoy being the home squad in this game. Hopefully it'll give us a little bit of advantage if we need it late in the ballgame to be the last team up batting.
Was the guy in the press box Fred sitting next to you?
No, actually it was Paul De Los Santos, our man from the Spectrum, the local newspaper.
Oh, okay, great.
Fred would have given a nice big yell of a yes if that would have happened.
Did Fred make the
probably heard it, though.
Did Fred make the trip, or is he going to be listening to you do the games?
We'll be back in St. George listening to this game on our local radio station. Hopefully he'll enjoy it.
Fred's a good man, that's for sure. Always enjoy when I come up there, sitting in the press box with him. How is you look at the team and they had that run at the end of the season and they're really playing ball. I mean, that last series kind of is a springboard for you guys into this postseason.
Yeah, to play a regionally ranked team at the time that Cal State LA was in number 5, the Storm at the time were number 6. Really showed, I think, a lot of the West Region voters that Dixie State, despite being a second-place team in their own conference, was one of these 4 teams that deserved to be up here in Oregon playing for a chance to go to Cary, North Carolina. There were a lot of feelings towards the last month of the year that, well, if you take 3 out of 4 out of this series, you have to sweep this team to get the attention of the voters. There were some downtrodden guys out on the field going into that last series against Cal State LA, knowing that the region both put us at 6 at the time. But then to see a 3 out of 4 series win, and then to see the region bump us up to number 3, really it kind of gave us hope, especially specifically since that was the last regular season series of the year. So to know that the voters did look up and say, hey, this team deserves to be here was a nice compliment to this program.
Well, that's somewhat painful, do you think, for the players and the coaching staff to know that you had a week off before you would even know if you were going to play again? I mean, the anxiety level.
I know. Yeah, the manager and the coaches actually, they went through the process like they normally would at the end of the season. Uniforms were turned in. The guys who are not local were sent home, and they were told, hey, seeing that the regional rankings came out and we're 3, you need to be back on Sunday. And that's exactly what happened. Guys came back on Sunday. There was practice Sunday night, practice on Monday, and then we left on Tuesday. So I think the freshness of especially the seniors, knowing that they've got at least 2 more games in them and more, depending on how well they do, has really been a nice shot in the arm for Dixie State.
What does it mean for this program to make the NCAAs?
It's huge. The Dixie State in their junior college days were powerhouses, 2004 national champions, made it to regionals every year, it seemed like. And then when the transition occurred in 2007, moving to the D2 era, the thinking, our coaches always go into games thinking, you know what, we're going to win, we're going to be successful. But you always knew there was going to be some sort of transition period for Dixie State. And it happened in the 6th year, the 4th year of eligibility. Although this team has had some opportunities the last 2 years to get in, I think this year was really that first chance where they go, you know what, if we have a solid season and post good numbers, we've got a chance to get in. For a young program to get in, it's just that first taste of what possibly could be that kind of juggernaut ability that we had as a junior college. I know that you talk a lot with Mike Littlewood, the head coach, in terms of recruiting. As soon as you get announced on national broadcast that you're going to the NCAAs, does he? I mean, he obviously said that's got to be a boost for recruiting. It's a humongous boost for recruiting. We're the only D2 right now in the state of Utah, and for kids that, for academic reasons or athletic ability, can't get into their dream programs, D1, be it Utah or BYU or UVU, who just had their 32-game win streak snapped, to have a college down in the southern part of the state where the weather's beautiful, the facilities for our D2 level are magnificent, and now to have the credibility of being a powerhouse in the West region, you can come into a program like that and know that you're going to have a chance at the postseason every year from now on out is a huge recruitment tool for Dixie State.
It's funny because you drive by, and I've been to the stadium in St. George a number of times, and you had the independent league team that you were involved with there for a while. And when you drive, the highway is just beyond the outfield fence there. And when you drive by it from the highway, it looks like a minor league baseball stadium, not a college stadium for Division II.
Yeah, Bruce Hurst Field was built in the mid '90s. It's a great field, not only because it's well kept, but it's a great theater to watch a baseball game. And most of the seats are raised above the field level, so no matter what seat you're in, you've got a great view of the field. And if you're lucky enough, like me, to be up in the press box to see not only the action from the field, but the panorama of the background of what the entire southern Utah area has to give, Dixie State's a wonderful place to play baseball, a great place to go to school, and with us growing into university status in the next couple of years, it just is going to continue to build in southern Utah.
A few years ago, the Pac West held that little sort of World Series for Division II schools, and you and I sat through probably the craziest baseball game ever played at the college level. And
30-28, if I remember correctly, the highest scoring game in Division II at the time against a couple of Puerto Rican schools. That was a barn burner, to say the least.
and as I recall, went extra innings. If I recall correctly, I think the one team tied it, and then we ended up going. That game was so long that they had to push. There was a game scheduled in the afternoon, and it ended up being a night game that day.
Yeah, which is not surprising, no matter what tournament level you're at. But yeah, to have 58 runs scored in one game, that was. If I ever write a memoir, that will be in one chapter somewhere.
It was, and there are two schools. Both of them were Division II schools from Puerto Rico, and the team that won, it was as if they had won the national championship because of the rivalry.
It was great to see them celebrating on the field. There were pictures taken. We kept the scoreboard on just to make sure and chronicle it for the historians. Yeah, just the excitement that this game brings, no matter if it's a 1-0 pitcher's duel or, in that case, a 30-28 offensive slugfest.
Well, and obviously in a tournament like this, you talk about all the runs scored in a game like that, but in a tournament like this, it really comes about who's got the best pitching.
I know, and that's from Little League all the way to the big leagues. If you've got a shutdown pitcher that can keep balls on the ground for your infield or fly balls into the ballpark, that is a huge asset. It's going to be the exact same thing here up in Oregon between UCSD and Dixie State. There's going to be a good test on the mound in this one. Mike Diedrich for Dixie is going to go, the right-hander who went 5-4, a guy who can pound low in the zone, hopefully keep the balls on the ground here. And then UC San Diego is going to go with the freshman left-hander Trevor Scott, trying to mix up what is normally a dominant left-handed lineup for Dixie State, who's had to make a little bit of adjustments in the lineup just to get ready for that left-hander on the mound.
Right now on offense, who's the hottest player for Dixie State coming into this tournament?
Coming into the tournament, that's a hard question to answer, only because there really hasn't been a guy throughout the year. It's really been a 1 through 9. But if you're looking for a guy in the series with this ballpark, the way it's set up, and when the wind kicks up, it blows out to right field, you gotta look at left-handers. And I think this could be a nice breakout party for Cedric Johnson, our outfielder, a guy who missed some time in the conference year with a slight hamstring pull. But if you leave something in the zone and leave it elevated, he is going to make you pay either with a screaming line drive to the gap, or he's going to bomb it over the fence. I think he could really have a nice breakout here in Oregon against these teams in the West region.
And what's the weather like there for these games? Obviously a lot further north than most of the games that you guys play during the season.
I'm sorry, did you say the weather?
Yeah, the weather. These games are obviously in locations a lot further north than typically the Pac West teams play.
Yeah, it's actually really nice. A little cooler than maybe you would expect. The temperatures are going to be in the mid-60s today. Right now, the wind's starting to freshen up a little bit and starting to make its way out to right field. But the coolest we expect it to get is into the lower 60s. Should be pretty good. A little different change than what we expect in St. George today, which I believe the forecast was 99 degrees in our great Utah's Dixie today.
Well, it's 104 degrees here in Phoenix as we speak outside the studio. So
right in the shade.
And it's a dry heat, Tom. It's a dry heat.
yeah, it's a dry heat when that egg starts cooking on my car. So It's so well. Hey, John, good luck with this tournament. We wish Dixie State the best of luck, and also a shout out to Kyle Chappelle, the golfer who was tied for 8th going into this morning's round. Has had a terrific season, and we look forward to hearing you. People want to hear the games. What are you broadcasting on?
They can, if you're going to listen online, just go to our website, DixieAthletics.com. Scroll down to the calendar section. There's a little live audio link. I'm here, and you'll be able to click in and listen for free right on our webpage.
That sounds great. John Potter, play-by-play guy for Dixie State College of Utah baseball program, assistant sports information director, and he does a tremendous job. He was the Pac West media person of the year, actually 2 years ago, and he was doing a lot of broadcasting, and he's done an outstanding job. We wish Dixie State College Utah the best of luck. So we look forward to seeing everybody next week and at 12 o'clock and on Pac West Radio. For Joe Carreiro, I'm Tom D. Camillo. We'll talk to you next week.
Hi, Marie here for wannasing.com. Are you looking for professional DJ or karaoke services for your next